Hee-hee.
Cool.
White guys dancing.
I don't know what I'm doing yet.
Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, December 10th, 2019. My name is Ed Tracey. Had a few weeks off. Missed you guys, all three of you that listen to the radio show. And, lots of stuff's going on. Of course, we had our last Street Fest for the year. But now we have Mall Fest. Mall Fest coming up on December 20th. And that is at the Red Cliffs Mall, right there at the entrance of Barnes & Noble. It's a busy weekend because it's like the second busiest shopping weekend of the year, second only to Black Friday. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. And this fine gentleman sitting across from me will be there. We'll talk to him in just a moment. But, of course, we've got live music. We have the community stage where we do, all the school choirs and the dancing. And we've got Branson Anderson, who's a great guitarist. He'll be there. Food trucks. We got a bunch of food trucks. Lots of stuff, man. Bounce houses. Now, I have children, okay? I don't like bounce houses. I think they make kids crazy. Have you ever been in the store and you can tell that the lady with the kid in front of you in line, she has given her child some kind of sugar because he is like freaking out on the ground? That's what happens with bounce houses. Kids they lose their shoes, but they lose their minds when they go in there. It's crazy.
And their fingers.
Yeah, and their fingers. All sorts of
happen.
stuff. It's crazy. Crazy. So that's Friday, December 20th. It'll be the big last event for the year. It'll be lots of fun. Come on out. Anybody out there that wants a booth or wants to participate, contact us 435-227-5110 or go to stgeorgestreetfest.com. Fill out an application. That's coming up. And this is a personal note. Of course, both are personal. I'm going to be a grandpa. I'm a little distraught but excited at the same time because in my mind, I'm like 30 years old, right? I think I'm 30 years old. And then I look in the mirror and I'm like, I am not 30 years old. I just think I am. But so my second oldest and his wife, Allie, they're going to have their first due in August. Congratulations. I'm a little excited. I want to come up with a name. I don't want to be grandpa, I got to come up with a cool. My one says, why don't you let the kid call you OG? Is that OG? OG is an old gangster reference from the 90s. I'm like, I don't even know the kid can say OG, let alone call me that. But I don't know. We'll come up. If you have any ideas on a great grandpa name for a cool guy like me, I don't want to be Papa Ed. I can't be Poppy. That would be a little awkward. Hi, Poppy. No, that'd not be good. I'm going to be a grandpa. Very excited, and dating a woman who has a 4-year-old. So this is going to be great. Maybe I'll have more kids. You ever seen the movie Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell, where he has a kid and his dad has a kid at the same time? And maybe that's what's going to happen. We'll see. I don't know. I digress. So welcome, December 10th. Very excited that this guy is a ball of energy. One of the nicest guys I've met since I've been here. He's just full of energy. Positive. I see him at the gym. I've seen him, old guy, got to go to the gym all the time, obviously. Keep myself in shape. This guy is old. I'm like, dude, this guy is in fantastic shape. I like women, but that guy's in good shape. And I'm thinking, how can an old guy get in that kind of shape? And then I run Street Fest. He's got a booth there. He creates these amazing drinking water bottles. It's an artistic way to drink, right? Resin Rain, Jordan Bickle. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
See, he's great. This guy's full of energy. So I'm amazed at these things. How long have you been doing this?
I've actually been doing it for a couple months, since August.
See, that's crazy. And and granted, when you go to these things, some people have a good time. They find it valuable. Some people don't come back. They just don't make money. Maybe it's the product they sell. Maybe it's a spot they have at Street Fest. But this guy, Jordan, he's been there, what, two months maybe?
2 times,
Two times. And he's loving it. I'm like, so how was it? He's like, this is great. This is awesome. I got a feeling, though, you're kind of that way with everything. But that's awesome. So now, are you from St. George?
Yeah, well, I was born in California, raised here.
Okay.
And lived here my whole life. And, man, it's crazy to see this place, like,
it's
what
nuts.
it's becoming now. And I think, dang, man, this is actually becoming a city.
It really is.
An actual city. I lived in Portland for about a year.
That's a cool city.
It was cool. I'm back because it was unbelievably gloomy, and this guy in a gloomy place.
Yeah, that wouldn't be. I can't imagine that.
And it was cool, like the buildings. Like when you walk down a big city and you see all these buildings, and you're like, oh man, there's like an apartment just like right here on the street
in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and now I'm seeing one being built right on the boulevard.
Yep.
I think, oh man, this is really becoming like a big downtown city area. But I bet you in the next 5 years it is.
Well, and it really is. That right down there on Tabernacle, there's the Jewel Plaza, which is where the old Wilkinson's Electric used to be. They're building some high-end apartments there where, it'll be like your age and up. I call them the dinks, dual income, no kids, where you got two, husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend living, no kids, they're professionals, or they work from home, they're telecommuting.
Yeah.
That's the kind of people, or doctors, since the hospital's kind of getting bigger, you're going to see a lot of medical professionals, people that can work from home. Plus you have the ones right here, as you said, on St. George Boulevard and Main Street, City View Apartments. Between the two of them, you're going to have 352 brand new apartments. They're already 90% full.
What?
Yeah, 90% full already. They just opened up they opened it in 2 segments. So you got the one here, then you have that high end. Is it called Advenir? It's a Marriott hotel right on the corner.
Oh yeah.
$500 a night. $500 a night. I better get a birthday card every year for $500 a night. But I'm sure it's very nice. And there's a really nice restaurant they're putting downstairs. And then on the other side of it, they're going to put the other section of the apartment community. And I think they're going to have a fitness center and a pool and all that stuff. So, I mean, it's going to be really nice for downtown.
Oh, yeah.
And with Street Fest right there, you can't go wrong.
You can just walk right out of their apartment and go for a walk down the street.
When they were building, I was like, dude, if I could have that very top apartment looking down on Tabernacle Street, that would be great. But I would get no work done. I would be like, where's Ed? He's up there waving at people.
Where did that balloon full of water come from? What the heck, man?
Where did the watermelon come from?
It's America.
Sucker. So yeah, there's lots of growth going on. They're building tons of homes down. Desert Color is a development that's going to open up in the next couple of years, like 13,000 homes that they're going to build. Washington Fields. I live right, and I see it all. If you go down Main Street, you hit Tabernacle, you hit 100 South, you got the Tabernacle building. I live just past it on Main Street. So I'm walking distance to everything.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, we joke about this, my car didn't start one day, the battery died, and I had to go to a meeting at the hospital, and I took one of those scooters all the way to the hospital.
Those things are awesome.
I love those things.
Oh, man.
I love them. They're great. But, guy my age, I'm holding on. I'm pretty sure I'm the only guy that could say he was sweating, doing nothing but holding on to handles for 12 minutes because I was panic struck that I'd fall and break something.
Well, it's actually harder than it looks. Like you're holding on to this thing like.
And there's no shocks on it. So if you hit a bump, you're dead.
You're flying.
You're gone.
Your teeth are gone.
Yeah.
Everything.
So there's, lots of stuff going on in this town and it's a good thing, and if you're, I'm guessing you're not 30 yet.
No.
Right. Okay. So you got your whole life ahead of you, dude. You got your whole life. What have you been doing? Went to school. Did you go to high school here?
I did. I went to Dixie High School.
Okay, so you went to Dixie High. Did you play sports?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I played football.
You did?
Lacrosse.
Right.
Oh, man. Lacrosse was my favorite.
Dude, lacrosse is tough, dude.
Ever.
Those guys are hardcore.
It's the only sport in the entire planet. I'm pretty sure that you can beat somebody with a metal pole and it's fine.
I think hockey still allows you to get.
Do they really?
I think you can still get away with it. Oh, everywhere else, you get in trouble, you get fined, or you get arrested. Of course, baseball and football guys, they don't do it on the court. They go home and do it to their neighbor.
Yep.
So that's pretty much how it goes. But lacrosse is great. This is great. So you did all that stuff. You decide you want to stay here. What kind of work do you do?
So right now I am helping a family business.
Okay, cool.
It's actually called Desert Sun. It's an awesome window cleaning, pressure washing.
Very cool.
A really awesome service.
And this is the kind of town where you need that.
Yes.
If you look everywhere, you see car washes. Like a million
Tons
car
of them.
washes.
Like duplicates of the same one.
And window washing services. Anything having to do with outdoors. There's a lot of guys. If you build a pool, you clean windows, or you own a car wash, you're going to do well.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the thing is, too, it's like, it's awesome. They've been building it for about 15 years.
Right.
And I've known these guys forever. And I came back from Portland. I was like, I'm going to help you guys out. And we've just been cranking like crazy.
Oh, yeah, man.
So Eric, he's my buddy old pal. This isn't his dad's business.
Right.
He builds screens for people. We wash all these windows. We pressure wash everything anybody needs. And since I started doing this business, like, oh my gosh, I never thought to actually look at a window and be like, oh man, that's really dirty. Like, that needs to be clean. And now that we're doing it and you're done and the people are just so happy because you're providing a service for somebody.
And I think because there's particularly out in Kayenta and Ivans and out there, you see a lot of these homes where they have, ceiling to floor windows. It's not just like a 4-foot window. It's a huge window because they want to take advantage of the beauty, the red rock around you and stuff. So there's a lot of glass to clean.
Yes.
I would like to interview the guy that does mobile car detailing, because I'm telling you, that guy in this town is making bank.
Yes.
He's making bank.
Yes.
So you're doing that, and does that get slow in the winter? I don't probably get slow.
Not really. I mean, like, people are kind of terrified of rain for some strange reason, which is like, it's like, if we clean your window and it rains, like, nothing's gonna happen, unless it's like this crazy like blistering storm. But other than that, it's usually a little slower in the summer because, like, you have the snowbirds that come in and out.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah.
But we're always advertising and marketing and like figuring out a way just to grow the business.
Very cool.
And it's getting awesome. It's freaking awesome.
And is this, I mean, obviously it's not your business. You're kind of helping them out and working for them and stuff, but you guys you go out to the homes, you get on a routine for that? Like, somebody says, all right, come out this time and then come out a month later, or you guys pray for rain so you can, like.
Oh no, it's so crazy. Like, we're just consistently busy because people usually, they usually schedule about 3 months out.
Right.
It's a good idea too if you want your windows to be consistently clean.
Sure.
And
what's the name of his business? Desert Sun.
Desert Sun.
All right, shameless plug for Desert Sun.
You're welcome. Yeah. And oh my gosh, I love working with the guys too. Every single day, it's funny. We actually get customers that are like, I've never seen workers that are so happy and like laughing and joking with.
That makes a difference, though. In any business, if you're happy and you're cheerful and you're nice to people, they will have you back, dude. It almost doesn't matter what you sell.
Absolutely.
Really, because they're like, he was so nice. Well, what does he do? I don't know, but he's coming back.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very true. Something to be said for that. So you're doing that. And of course, we met kind of at the gym. Mm-hmm. You've been going to the gym. You're in really good shape. Like, I don't know how. And in fact, I say this because I've asked him, once I knew that we knew each other, I was like, okay, dude, what do you do that I can do? Because he's not 30. I am. and then some.
That's all in the heart.
Dangerously rounding 60, so that's like ridiculous. But at my age, it's harder to stay in shape. Not impossible, but you got to do things a little differently and eat a little differently and work a little harder and stuff. So you've been going to the gym, you said, since like you were 12.
Yeah.
Because of school and sports and all that stuff.
Sports, just like whatever kind of inspired me. It's like, I want to be this way. Bad.
Right. And I will say this for you, to give you credit, you are as happy as you are here everywhere I see you. You're always in a good mood. You are. And that's great because, some people, you see them and they're like, oh, he's so happy. And then you see him, on the weekends, you're like, that guy is not nice.
Man, I will say, though, when I'm at the gym, I am
focused, right.
Please, like, it's not.
Well, and I put my headsets in so people, because I like this gym. We go to Performance 24/7. Another shameless plug. Good guys over. It's a nice gym. It's not too expensive. You can go literally 24/7, 365 days a year. Nobody bothers you. And I've been to gyms where I call it the $5 club. You go there because it's cheap, $5-10. But then there's always a guy with a towel around his neck talking to everybody. I don't think he touches one piece of equipment. He just likes to talk. There's one off of Sunset. I went for a brief second, and I was like, oh, I can't go here. There's talk.
It drives me nuts. It's like, would you please go?
Dude, we don't go to the gym to talk.
No.
Go to the library and whisper if you want to do that.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's awesome to be like, hey, she's really cute. Ask for you know what I mean? But you're not like bothering people. You don't want to like let people do their thing.
Right. Exactly. Good man. We're on the same wavelength.
Yes.
Stop talking at the gym, people. Stop talking at the gym. Get off your phone in your car. And if you're going to chat on your phone in line at Walmart, get out of line.
Daddy.
This has been a public service announcement. We have spoken. We're coming up with solutions to your problems. Call in 509. Okay, so tell me some of your goals, because obviously you've got a routine that you do. You've got to do that. You just can't go in blind, like anything. You just can't go in blind. You got to know what you're eating, what you're working on, how much you can lift, how much is too much, all that sort of stuff, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm not the type of person that's just like, how much do you bench, dude? Like, I'm not that person at all. It's like, that does not matter. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't even like lifting too crazy heavy. Yeah. Because the ratio from damage to yourself.
Oh yeah, sure. Plus, if you lift less, you can have more reps, right? You can do more repetitions, and then you can get a little more definition, which I found out the hard way, because I'll show you a picture. I don't have it on here, but my Facebook profile picture, I look like Popeye 2 years ago when I first started going to the gym. My arms were like massive. Like, I could not, if I would go to church on Sunday, somebody had to get my collar down.
Put my shoulder pads down.
Yeah, because I put my collar down. It was sad. It was really sad. And somebody's like, dude, if you lift less and just do more repetitions, you get more defined, and then you'll be able to touch your nose. Yep. So it's true, though.
Well, the secret, too, is like, if you do it, there's a style of workout called hypertrophy, or hypertrophy, however you want to pronounce it.
Right.
Like, that can grow muscle like crazy.
Yep.
So fast, because your body's like, it's not like, oh my gosh, it's in perfect form. You're doing your thing, doing the whatever amount of repetitions that it wants you to do, and the results are unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It's funny, I just heard about that. The other thing that I think I mentioned to you before are these SARMs that you see out there that are, everybody. I remember my oldest son had a buddy that was taking. You get these pre-workout things or whatever, and there's ingredients that the FDA hasn't looked at yet, and so they're in there. And then when the FDA says, "Okay, this is bad stuff," then all of a sudden they disappear.
Called pro-hormones.
Yes, so they come up with other stuff. Well, he was taking this stuff called Tren.
Oh
yeah.
Boy.
So and his name was Austin Garbrick. I hope you see this, buddy. I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, this guy. He's like 18, and he is ripped. What is he taking? Oh, Dad, he's taking this stuff called Tren. I'm like, is it legal? I don't think so. Okay. It's a steroid that they would give to racehorses.
Yeah.
To racehorses. Mm-hmm. So how could it possibly be good for adults? So
no,
anyway,
you're not putting that into a human body at all.
Well, exactly. And then even worse, if you stop taking it, what happens? You turn into the blob.
Yep.
Basically, and that's exactly what happened to this poor kid. But he's married with kids now, so he doesn't need to keep in good shape. He's got it. He's good now. He's got his dad bod going on. So yeah. There's something to be said for all that stuff. But SARM seems to be the new thing these days. It's unproven. Not really. They say it's clinically tested. Well, that doesn't mean anything. Toothpaste is clinically tested. So
yeah, it has fluoride and stuff like that.
It's like these brain, like Prevagen and all these focus factor and stuff. 9 out of 10 doctors recommend. What doctors?
Yeah.
You'll
see that kind of stuff, and then you're like, what about nootropics? And it's like, well, it's not FDA approved. And it's like, but they're awesome.
Right. Like, exactly.
Brain power.
Right. Exactly. So, it's interesting. The bottom line is, like you said, natural stuff, diet, exercise. And I know in the 5 or 6 weeks that you and I have been talking, I notice a difference.
Yeah.
Again, being older, I have to work a little harder and getting rid of the gut because it's been there a long time, and it's putting up a fight. Like everything around, I'm like, oh look, man, I can see this, but this little donut in the front is just not wanting to go away.
It's the hardest thing, especially like lower body fat.
Oh, dude,
like on the lower part of your stomach, that is like, it is the bane.
And cardio, kind of critical, kind of important. My body's like, what are you doing? So I go up. I live on basically between 100 and 200 South on Main Street. I run up all the way to the flagpole on Main Street. I run that.
Sheesh.
Dude, I've met Jesus twice at the top. It's like that difficult.
He's like, dude, just keep going.
He's like, you're almost there. You're almost there. Go into the light.
But I was told not to go into the light.
Go in the light.
I've seen Poltergeist.
Yeah, exactly. So, but things like that. HIT training, I think, is another one that people talk about. That you just got to find your thing. Anyway, so you look great. You have goals, like you want to compete in anything, or is this just for personal stuff?
It's just like my own thing. I've had people tell me in the past, like, dude, you're there. Like, you can go right now. And I'm like, it's not for show. Like, I don't work out to show people, like, look how big I am. Like, I see people that, like,
but it's good when you get home and you're getting dressed, you're like,
yes,
I'm in good shape.
Yes.
I'm feeling good about life.
Yeah, or
right?
like you're on a date and like the person and you're like, oh, well, thanks. Like,
she's like, you're in really good shape.
Like,
thank you. In your mind, you're like, I know.
I work really hard.
I'd have people say that. Now, the downside, like I said, I lost a bunch of weight, and people are like, are you sick? No, I'm not sick.
I'm healthy.
You're sick. You're 50 pounds overweight.
Yes. Get on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone can do it.
Oh, man, people are funny. So you go to the gym, you do all that stuff, you work, and then in your spare time, you come up with these. I don't know. Do you have one of those that you can hold up to the camera?
I got 4 of them.
Show them what these are.
This one is brand spanking
Resin Rain. Show them the top so they can kind of see what it is. Okay.
It's a tumbler cup, metal tumbler cup that I take and I say, you know what? That's boring, and I transform it.
Dude, these things are awesome.
And one of my favorite things about it is like, I don't know. I'm one of those people that I like having my see this one. Oh, this one is my absolute favorite.
And everyone is different.
Look at that. Like, look how it changes.
It's so shiny.
Yeah. And I like to make something special. Like, I make a variety of a lot of different kinds.
Right.
Because I want someone to have like their favorite thing, and everyone has their, like, I use this one all the time. Everyone has their favorite coffee cup. Everyone has their favorite, like, flask or protein shaker. Why not have your favorite cup that you take around everywhere?
Exactly.
And someone sees it and you're like, I have the only one.
You know what you should do? This is brain. You can have this idea. Do that to Hydro Flasks. Are you working on it? Yay!
Yes, I am.
Because that's the thing now. That's the rage. Everybody's got a Hydro Flask. This gal I've kind of been dating, she got 6 daughters. Every one of them's got a Hydro Flask. I'm like, I don't have a Hydro Flask. Why don't I have a Hydro Flask?
And each one Hydro Flask, like, it could have like nothing on it. It's like $40 to $50. You're going,
oh, I know, dude. They're not cheap. And and the only downside is you carry it everywhere. If you drop it, you dent it. Mm-hmm. Well, if you drop that, I'd imagine it would crack, shatter.
It might. Like, I haven't taken any of the cups and like, bam, to like test
one.
I should test one. I should make like a.
We should take the cameras outside. Drop it off the top of the Human Performance Center over here.
But I haven't tested the strength of anything. But it is a very hard, thick like material. So if it hits the ground, you're gonna be like, oh no, okay. I think it's fine.
So you make these. Your company's called Resin Rain.
Mm-hmm.
What were you doing that made you decide you wanted to do this? Like, this isn't like everybody has an idea, but very few people take them and run with their ideas.
Yeah, it's well, my buddy old pal Eric that I actually work with.
Okay.
Him and we are always doing some type of project.
That's awesome.
just we love doing it. We got in his workshop. Yeah,
keeps the mind sharp.
Yeah,
and those are the millionaires of tomorrow, my friend.
Yep. And he thinks he's not an artist, but he is. He is an absolute artist, and he's awesome.
That's awesome.
And when I moved to Oregon, him and another buddy of mine, they started doing this because we used to powder coat these cups too.
Oh, okay.
And we're like, this
so
is
more
really
of a
cool.
flat coat to them.
Yeah, right. Nice flat coat. We could do like this and that to them, but it was like, what else though? And we're always trying to make stuff that is functional.
Right.
And so they started doing resin. And right when I left, they're sending me videos. I'm just like, like I've always wanted to play around with that stuff. It's awesome. And came back and he's just like, okay, dude, we're gonna do it. Let's try it out. So I tried it out and instantly fell in love with it.
I've never seen anything like them. So I mean,
Thanks.
and unfortunately, at some point, somebody will do something similar. It's just the way it is, and competition or what do they say? Duplication is the nicest form of flattery, or blah blah blah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously, but you're ahead of the game, right?
Well, the thing is too, it's like absolutely. If anybody is like inspired to do it, they should do it. But I mean, it's because every artist is different.
Sure.
Every single artist. And like, there are some cups that I have that I'm thinking, no one bought that one. And I think it's freaking amazing.
Right.
But that person bought this other one that I thought that was going to be the last one to sell.
Exactly.
And like, no one else is making what I'm making.
Sure.
So like, if you have ideas, do what you like.
Right. Exactly
absolutely.
Right. Exactly right. How many of these do you sit and make? Like, so what's the process? You go, you buy the cups, you sit, I'd imagine your house or your garage is a hot mess.
Yes. Well, all the projects happen at my friend's workshop.
Oh, it does. Okay.
We're just like, we go in there and it's like, okay, see you later, everybody. Like we're in here focusing, making magic happen.
Good.
And each one of these takes me about a day and a half to 2 days to make.
Each one?
Yep. Each one.
So you have to, do you work on 2 or 3 at a time, or you do one and then for a day and a half and then you do the next one kind of thing?
So I try and have 2 going at the same time. So I'll have 2 going, and I sometimes I just
That's a process then. That's quite a process.
Yeah. It is a major process.
Okay, so that means we're going to take a quick break here. We're going to pay some bills, do some station identification, as they call it. Talking to Jordan Bickle with Resin Rain. When we come back, we're going to talk more about this process and how you can get your hands on some of them. And don't go away, Startup Nation. Jordan Bickle, Ed Tracey. We will be right back, everybody.
That's so cool.
We are back, everybody. Ed Tracey, Jordan Bickle. We are talking Resin Rain. It just kind of rolls off your tongue. Resin Rain.
Resin Rain.
So you had this idea. You decided you wanted to run with it and see if you can make a little money at it. And, And I got to go back to this because I still find it fascinating. It takes you a long time to make these. It's not something you can sit. And what do you do with it? Like, how do you apply the resin? It takes them about a day and a half to do one.
Yep.
So you do a couple, maybe 2 or 3 at a time, but it still takes you a day and a half from the time you start till the day it's finished.
Yep.
That's a lot.
Because like, it's one thing like, because you get it started, you have to. A couple different things can inspire me at a time. Like it can be music. It can be like this one is completely inspired by a book series called The Mistborn. Oh my gosh! If you guys ever get a chance, if you like books,
I don't know.
Brandon Sanderson is like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. But or I'll have music and I'll sit there and I'll just like, okay, this is what I'm doing, and it's like I'll just jump right into it. So like most of the time I don't even have a plan.
So it's like being an artist. I mean, it's truly an artist. You get a concept in your head, you see something, you go, this is how I'm going to do this.
Yep.
Okay, yep. Michelangelo.
Yeah. And it's like sometimes I'll be like, okay, the cup is done. And I'm looking at it and I just think, no, it's not done. Like, it is not done. And I'll just come back and change it and be so happy that I did it.
So how do you apply this stuff? Do you paint it on? Is it you scrape it on like clay or like spackle? You
have to get it like really mixed up. You don't mix this stuff correct, like it's going to be messed up. You have to stir your resin for about like a minute to 2 minutes. Like it really has to.
And it's got to be a lot to put those kind of coats that you have on those cups. That's not thin. No. That's pretty thick.
I buy gallons of resin.
And you buy resin and then you add the colors and stuff to it, or does it come? Okay, all right.
So I take
it's like a palette. It's just like a palette of canvas, and
it's totally blank. Like, but you can mix things into the resin too. You can use like different paints or a glitter. Like this one, it's 100% glitter.
That's a lot of glitter, dude.
And like you're just putting copious amounts of glitter. Like you think you look like a chef, just like boopity boppity, and like Gordon Ramsay would be very impressed. But don't taste it, please. Oh man, mouthful of pop.
Goodbye.
And so the process is going, and you got to be patient. You really got to be patient because people do they do pour painting as well. It's used with resin and acrylics and all that stuff too, and they're really cool.
Now, how do you set this? You have to heat it? You put it in a dry room? What do you do with it?
So I take it, and a lot of people, they'll buy spinners because it has to be consistently moving. Has to. I mean, you can look
while
at
it's drying,
and it has to
really
never stop.
Huh.
And
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's weird. When I learned it too, I was like, whoa. But a lot of the spinners out there, like, they don't work that well. Like my buddy and I, we had to build them. He's like the craftsman, so I was like, show me how you do this. Like, show me how you make this contraption.
How fast is it moving?
It's going at it's moving about that fast. Because, I mean, if it's cranking, it's just like flinging things
everything's
everywhere.
coming off.
Stuff's going to mix. Oh, man, if you got resin in your eye.
It'd be bad.
Oh, boy.
Hey, why are you wearing that patch, Resin Rain?
My eye is really beautiful, but, got rained on.
So bad.
But, I mean.
Well, that would explain in great part why you can only do one or two at a time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I need to build more types of spinning mechanisms, but, I mean, just my time goes into this.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Like, I need more, but and it's a blast, man. It really is so cool.
Now, all right, so you started making these things. Now you got a couple of finished products. You're like, oh man, these are great. Let's sell them.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any idea where you were going to sell them?
I mean, at first I was like,
how did we connect? I mean, you must have saw something, or you went to Street Fest or something.
So when I started making them, I made I think I had made like 4 of them. I was like, I'm going to sell these things. Like, abso-freaking-lutely, I'm going to sell these things. And so I knew that Street Fest was going on.
Right.
And I, let's see, how long was I in town when I moved back here? Can't remember. But we went, and I just thought, I need to ask somebody. Right. What am I going to ask? And I was like, hey, like, what's like the process of getting into it? And the person told me. I was just like, heck yeah.
Right.
So I found you guys online, contacted you, and was
awesome.
Like, I want to be a part of this.
It was great.
Bad. Like, really, really bad.
And, it's funny on our end. We get stuff all the time from people, and we try, we don't turn people away if we do, it's because we're just full, or, we don't want 5 taco trucks, or we don't want 5 people selling nail polish, but we'll have all these different artists. And when that came over, I was like, Resin Rain. And Kenny helps me in the office. She's like, it's got these really cool, I think you sent him a photo or something. I can't remember.
So.
And I was like, well, that's interesting. Let's get a hold of him, see if we can get him in there, and it's more than just a cup, I mean, it really is a work of art.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, And knowing how much time you put into that, it's interesting to me because we'll talk to different people, and some people, oh yeah, I can make like 60 of these at a time, or which is great. You can't.
No.
Not right now.
Yeah, not right now. Like I could get like a bunch more going, but I think the most I'd want to have going at a time is maybe 5. Because each one, I never, ever, ever. I even told my friend, I was like, dude, if I ever become one of those people, which I couldn't. There's no way I could because I care a lot.
Right.
Like each one, I want someone to feel a certain way.
Right.
Like this one in particular. Like I specifically
made it so that's your favorite, isn't it?
Oh yeah. It's just when I was making this one, dude, it was just like everything that was happening. I could not believe it. Like look up close. It looks like liquid metal in your hand.
That's pretty cool.
And those little bumps on the side and the grooves. I did that specifically
bump
because
like that on my neck, I think.
you got a molar.
Yeah.
But I did that specifically because human beings are very fidgety. They like
to touch stuff.
I mean, they touch biz, and
that's why those spinners. Boy, if we had created those spinners,
oh my gosh,
I wouldn't be here right now.
No, filthy rich.
So rich.
And so I make them like that. I make it so each person has and it's so fun for me, honestly, because when I'm standing there and talking to people, yeah, it has like a solidness to it.
Yeah, it does, man.
And I'm talking to people, and they're kind of looking through, and I tell people, when you find the one that you like, make sure you hold it up to the light. And they take it, and they look at it, and they're like, oh my gosh, like there's something way more going on here. Like there's so much depth, and then when they pick it, and they want it, and they love it, it's like, that's why I do it. Like,
now, you just do the one size currently? You just do that one style?
This last one, I had some coffee cups that I made.
Oh, sweet.
And I will be making more of those, and they come in sets.
Oh, cool.
And they're going to be like maybe slightly different from each other or something to where you can be like...
Same color schemes kind of thing? Gotcha.
Like the first ones that I did, they were rose gold. One had a gold ring around it, and the other one had like a purple and something else on there. And this lady saw them, and she's like, I have to have them.
Rose gold's the kind of thing everybody's into right now.
I love rose gold. Man. Yeah. It is such a beautiful color.
Yeah, it is.
There's rose gold in this baby right here. And she loved it. She's like, I don't want anybody to buy these. Put them aside for me.
That's awesome.
They're mine.
That's cool.
Great.
That's cool.
And I want people to like. It's one thing like giving one person that cup. It's another thing where you can be like, there are no other cups like this. Here you go. You're my best friend, or you're my husband, like whatever.
Right.
And there you go.
Right.
And I'm also having some bigger ones as well. I also do custom orders. I just had a guy last night message me. He was like, hey, I want 4 custom cups. I'm like, you got it.
So now if somebody wants to get a hold of you, so let's say they want to make, somebody says, I want, my own cups. Can you make these for me? Or I want to buy, or how do they get a hold of you?
So I have my Instagram page.
Okay, which is
Resin_Rain.
Okay.
And you can message me on there like anytime.
Gotcha.
And if I see your message, I'm like, boom, how's it going? And I have I take a video of every single cup that I make. Every single cup. It usually has music to it too, so you're kind of like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
That's awesome. Resin_Rain on Instagram. And what's the price range on these things?
So I usually range between 20 to 30.
Okay.
Because if you go to any store and you see like Yetis or Hydro Flasks,
oh yeah,
you see them in their plain,
right,
for 30 or above and beyond.
Oh yeah,
it's like, why would I want to buy a plain cup?
I'm like, $30. This was 78 cents.
Yeah. See, and some people say that too. They're like, "This is $30." I'm like, "Yeah," and I have other people.
But it's unique. I mean,
one of a kind.
I'll be honest. I don't get the whole Hydro Flask thing. If you want cold water, go to the water fountain.
Yeah.
Okay. But to have something interesting like that and have it's yours. It's basically personalized for you.
Yep.
That's a big thing, and that's, to me, that's worth it.
Absolutely. I mean, I have like a couple that I keep for myself.
Right.
I keep my failures, obviously.
Oh yeah. Right.
Anybody see those monstrosities?
That's what it looks like. One side's had a stroke or something. It's all dripping off the side, and you're like,
my first failure, I was just like, it was perfection, man. Like, perfect. I come out, check it the next day, and something happened, and it was ruined. I was like, oh. But the first one the second one I ever made, I take that one to the gym all the time.
That's awesome.
All the time. And it's like, this is my cup.
That's awesome.
Like,
now, do you you have to like, I'd imagine you start with an idea in mind. You sit, you mix all your stuff, you set them in there, and then do they have to, after they're done, do you have to let them sit some more after they're done spinning, or basically when they're done spinning? I'm trying to catch in my mind the concept of why they have to turn, and I don't know if that's because there's heat being applied to them, or air, or is it just keeps them dry? It helps them to dry.
Well, you want it to, so the resin's it'll just move. It'll go everywhere because the reaction that's happening between the two compounds is it's heating it up.
Gotcha.
And so if you don't keep that thing moving, it's gone.
Gotcha.
And so you want to keep it going. So usually the next day I'll kind of check its stickiness, tackiness, and everything like that.
Right.
And by the way, if you're going to do this, like, make sure you have gloves. Make sure you have an extremely consistent airflow. Oh my gosh! Have an airflow because you don't want to be breathing in stuff. Right. It's like if you were breathing in.
Oh yeah, I'd imagine that.
It's like you want an airflow.
That would be bad.
So I'll go out the next day and be like, okay, this is still not done. And then you think like, this is the day and a half process. This is it. And sometimes I'll take them off depending on how they feel, and I'll place them somewhere else and get the next ones going.
Right.
And or like after it's done though, you can turn it off.
Right.
You can turn off what's moving it and just kind of leave it and trust it because it has to cure. But there are times where I come back after it's completely cured.
And it's not cooperating.
I've had one of those this past week. It's just like, what is wrong with this one? Like, it will not cure. And I just thought, I don't know.
and you have to basically scrap it at that point, don't you? I mean, it's not, if it's...
You can fix them. Like, my buddy and I actually found a way to fix them. You take
dynamite.
Yeah, you take dynamite, you blow it up, and then you cry all over it.
Yeah.
You take like nail polish remover and it can like melt it off.
Yeah, it's got to be tough though.
Yeah, it's really hard. But like there's times where it's completely cured, and I'm like, it's not done yet, and I'll come back and do something completely that'll just transform it even more.
Right.
And then do another coat.
Now, have you done? So let's go back to you've done Street Fest. Have you taken it anywhere else? Have you done any other markets, farmers markets, anything like that?
Still super brand new.
Gotcha.
I am building a website for him right now. I have all kinds of people like, dude, if you had one, I'd buy it from out of state. I'm like, oh, shoot.
Right.
I need to get going.
How do you get so aside from Instagram, it's just basically word of mouth?
Yep, that. Right. And like I give out, if people want to have my number, they can totally have my number and get a hold of me.
Which is?
435-680-1749. There you go.
There you are, everybody. Pimping them out on the internet. There
Come on, put it in your notebook. Put it in your favorite wallet.
So funny. Resin_Rain, RESIN_Rain on Instagram. That's awesome.
Yep.
So what's your plan with these? What do you hope to do? Is it just kind of you enjoy making them and selling them? Do you envision taking this and making it a bigger business? I mean, is it something? People talk about scaling business. So you got one restaurant, you want to scale it, which means you want to have two restaurants doing exactly the same thing. Or you're making pogo sticks and you want to, be able to make 100 of these a day instead of the 5 you're doing. Is it something that you envision yourself doing? Is it just at this point just kind of a hobby? I mean,
it's both, honestly, because I've always done art my whole life.
Gotcha.
My mom's an artist, my aunt's
very
an
cool.
artist. Yeah, and I grew up with that. And I've always wanted to sell my art because it's like I have ideas that not other people have. Like,
you are doing it.
Yeah, it's like I'm doing it now, and it's freaking awesome. And I would love to, having the website, having the Instagram, having everything that I'm trying to.
Does your family know you do this?
Oh yeah.
And are they supportive?
Oh yeah.
Because sometimes families that's the stupidest thing.
People, I mean, they'll be like, some people will be like, they're cups. And then once I'm like, yeah, but I've sold this many, and they go, oh. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like you said, if someone will buy a fidget spinner, someone will buy something they can actually use.
Exactly.
Exactly. But my plan is, I would love for it to get big. I would love for it to be like, hey, Jordan Bickle made this one. If you want it, there's only one. or I'm doing a specific series of a certain specific kind. Because, I mean, like, anybody can go and make resin cups.
Sure.
But I have many secrets. Many that I have devised myself and have gone, I haven't seen anybody do this yet.
That's awesome.
I've looked online. No one else is doing what I'm doing.
That's awesome.
So I want people to, like, my whole thing is I like when people are happy. I want people to have something that they're happy with.
Good.
Like I was saying, I don't want a generic, like, pump out as many as possible. Just keep them coming out. Like, it doesn't matter what they look like, this and that. It's like, no.
Sure. Well, and you'd imagine with all the stuff that we do on our end with all these different festivals and that, you tend to see a lot of the same stuff. This is the first time I've ever seen this. I mean, literally, I've seen cups, and people doing stuff or people making, sticking clay in kilns and making things like that. But this is unique to me. And so that's why it kind of piqued my interest. I'm like, it's different. It's different than anything I've ever seen. Yeah. Not to say that somebody's not doing it. They're just not doing it the way you're doing it.
Got that right.
That's right.
And I will be doing specific sculptures. I have, oh my gosh, I have a notepad in my house that I'm just like, okay, if this would work all these things would work together.
Sculptures like how?
Like certain parts of it will be resin, and like the base will be resin, or this part will be resin, or I want people to the reason I make the cups the way too, and I say to look under the light, because I want everything I make, whether it's sculptures, cups, or tables or whatever,
right?
To I want them to really appreciate what they have, and they're looking into it and going, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I have this thing.
Right. Like,
this is cool.
Actually, you could do that with furniture and stuff too.
You sure can. Have you ever seen the tables that people make?
No, I've never seen those.
My
I don't think I have. Maybe I have.
They are cool.
That's awesome.
They are so cool.
You need a bigger spinner.
Yeah. Like flipping this table on this massive metal crank.
You're pulling it up to your warehouse. What's that noise? Oh, that's Jordan's spinner. He's got an armoire on there.
He's working on that by himself.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I just want to make things that make people happy, honestly.
Dude, you're doing it. You're doing it. I mean, I think that's totally terrific. So, how do you wash these things? Are they dishwasher safe?
I wouldn't put them in the dishwasher.
Gotcha.
Because you want to keep the integrity of the cup, and they're so easy to hand wash. Every single street fest, every single one, even if they didn't sell and I washed them, I hand wash every single one of them.
Right.
So they're nice and clean, and they're so easy to clean.
Right.
So easy. So, I mean, I would feel very bad if somebody slapped theirs in the. Yeah.
Now, is the bottom got resin on it? I didn't.
Yeah, it does.
So it's all the way around. It's completely smooth. Okay, there you go.
One, some of these bottoms on here, they turn out so cool because the resin will kind of. You have to be careful with the bottom,
right.
Because it can get. I've had some where the bottom's completely off, leveled weird, and the cup won't even stand correctly.
Right.
But I've had people look and they're like, "Oh man, the cup! Oh, look at the bottom!" and showing their friend. It's this crazy swirl that I'm like,
dude, you should put your signature on them or something.
I know. I really need to figure out
or number them or something. Look, I got number 2.
It's funny. My buddy actually said that. He's like, dude, put it certain numbers on there, so it's that's the only one of that kind.
Because think about it, even if you mass produced, let's say you did 10 of the same design or same color scheme, each one of them is still different.
Yep.
Each one of them is different. So, it's not like,
I mean, I've had people ask me if I could duplicate certain ones, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can absolutely remake that exact cup.
Right.
But there's some there's no way I could duplicate that. This is a one of a kind.
Right.
I mean, I could try and get it, but this is limited edition. One of a kind. And that's what's cool.
Excuse me. Do you get a lot of call? You just said somebody called you and wanted to have
4 of them made.
See, that's cool.
I was like, oh man, this is real.
That'd be great. And it's only been a couple of months. I mean, that's a big accomplishment, I think.
Awesome.
People calling you and wanting those things. So you let them know, right? Obviously that it takes a little bit to do them.
But here's the thing. I wouldn't have any of this going if it was not for my friend Eric and his wife Shari. They let me come over and use their workshop anytime.
Shameless plug for Eric and Shari.
Yep, you guys are freaking awesome friends, and I extremely appreciate you guys, and I love you more than anything. You guys are some of my best friends ever, and
good.
It's so cool. They're just dude, just come over and do it.
That's cool.
Come on over. Don't even worry about it. And they are so supportive.
Very cool.
And Eric's always telling me he always has an idea for dude, you should sell them this way, or like you should have limited editions. Like he's the one that keeps me very inspired to do it. Honestly,
I'm intrigued by the sculpture thing too. What kind of sculptures would you do with?
I kind of like abstract type of things.
Gotcha.
And like I would be creating my own molds.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. And
so you start from scratch. They're not existing kind of things.
Nope.
Wow.
Because, I mean, with doing the window business, you're going inside people's houses.
Sure.
And I see this artwork where I'm like, I would never want that. And then I think, wait a second.
But that's the same thing with these.
Yeah, and it's like,
right?
But they love it.
Right.
And that's what makes it special. So I want to make things the exact same way. And like, I have an idea that I want to use, it's like a dead branch type of style thing, but I'm giving it life again. And
that'd be pretty cool. An old branch.
It's gonna be
covered with resin.
Cool, man. Like, that would be
cool.
The way I envision it in my head, it's like, oh man.
Does the resin add a lot of weight to the cup?
You know,
it seems like it's pretty much the same.
Solid. Like the thing is, it's solid. I haven't really noticed too much of a difference in weight. There have been ones where they come out like way thicker than I thought. I just thought, I mean, it's just thicker in your hand.
Right.
But those are usually ones I just keep.
Right.
Yeah. That's a huge.
Wow, what is that? Oh, I put too much resin on it.
It's
like
massive.
This big.
Yeah. It's like big. But and people ask me, do they keep things hot? Do they keep things cold? Absolutely.
So the heat doesn't affect it.
No.
Cold obviously wouldn't affect it.
Nah.
Does it get condensation on the outside of it, or have you really?
Not that
I imagine it probably doesn't. It's probably insulated enough to where it doesn't affect it.
I mean, if you were out in like humidity, you'd be like, oh yeah. I mean, from the air outside.
Right.
But
do they fit in a cup holder in the car?
Yep.
Hey!
They sure do. They sure do. That also comes with the thickness of it too. If I make them too thick, and yeah, if I make them too thick, it's like, oh shoot.
That's so funny.
But I had to.
You thought of everything.
Yep, I sure have.
You probably had a few where you go, oh man, I screwed that up. That's not gonna fit.
Oh yeah, like one of them, I was trying to make it look like a candy cane.
Right.
And there's one of my cups. I should have brought it, but it's one of them, and it has like a very specific design where it looks like it's like, how is that string inside of it? And that one was, you have to plan that to perfection amount of time. Like it has to be perfect.
No.
And I tried to do it again with a candy cane style, and it
screwed it
up. It's a joke. Like it is a joke. Like I look at it.
It's gotta be tough because candy cane, like the stripes kind of thing, or. Yeah, how would you do that? That would be tough, dude.
I can do it. It's just the amount of time that.
But you got to babysit it.
Yep.
Really babysit it.
For hours.
Yeah.
4 hours. I have to plan my days out. Like if I were to do it on a Saturday, it's like, okay, I have to do it right now and come back in 5 hours or a couple hours and do this.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, but
that's crazy. We're talking with Jordan Bickle. He's the creator of Resin Rain. And what was the tagline you said? An artistic way to drink.
Yep.
I love that.
That's right.
One more time, if they wanted to find you, they can go to Instagram, resin_rain on Instagram. And your phone number if they want to call you and make some orders?
435-680-1749.
1749.
Yes. Give me a call. Like I would love to make it anything like, and don't be afraid to ask me whatever it is. Like if it's new to me, I'll try it.
I anticipate seeing these things in everybody's house, my friend.
Yes, thank
you.
And
I want to see the first Hydro Flask. I want to see what that looks like.
Oh, yeah. It's coming.
We are out of time, my man. Jordan Bickle, thank you so much. You are the man.
Takes one to know one.
You are awesome. Next week, we'll be back. Stick around. We've got lots of great things here at Radio Dixie and Radio St. George. My name's Ed Tracey, Startup Nation. We'll see you next week, everybody.
See ya.